Hi everybody, my name's Tiffany. Thank you for watching The Not So Cowardly Lioness. I just thought I would take a minute, introduce myself, tell you why I started this channel. I am very, very overweight and I am transgender. And being transgender is where the name of the channel came from. When I was transitioning, when I was mentally getting ready to transition, I started a new Facebook account. And I refer to myself as a cowardly lioness. And my friends who were encouraging me, supporting me, they told me that I was not cowardly. So I started calling myself the not so cowardly lioness because I really don't think I'm courageous or brave, but maybe I'm not a coward. I don't know. My wife, my son, and we all lived with my mother in my mother's house. Initially, it started off with my wife and I moving out here to assist her, to make sure she doesn't do too much. She is now 94 years old, and even at her age, trying to get her to not do too much is a lot like trying to get the ocean to not get the beach wet. I really, truly admire her. She is an incredible woman. And I am so glad that I have had the opportunity to get to know her so much better in the 15 years or so that my wife and I have lived here. I am very, very lucky to live here. My mother will likely never show up in a video. My son will likely never show up in a video. My wife may show up in a video, especially when we're going to doctor's appointments or whatever. And she will sit off camera and have a microphone sometimes. I have a couple of question and answer videos planned already. If you have questions, please ask. Put them in the comments. And I will do my best to answer them. We live with 6 cats. And they think they run the household, which if you have cats, you already know what cats do. I'll introduce them to you. Actually, if I'm editing this right, you're seeing pictures of the cats as I'm talking. Isn't that such a wonderful idea? Gosh, I love editing. So if I don't have something to say for a week, I might put up a cat video, or a few of them. I deal with depression and anxiety. I also deal with ADHD and dyslexia. Depression and anxiety I'm probably going to touch on later in videos. A lot of people talk about that. It's not a fun thing to deal with. And if you know someone who's going through it, please be there to be supportive for them. It's really, really a rough journey for someone dealing with this stuff. ADHD, I've had it my whole life. I don't know what it would be like not to have ADHD. So I can't say that it's horrible or it's great. It's just, it's normal. My ADHD, my train of thought derails very easily. And I wind up going off on tangents. I wind up talking about things. I wind up changing subjects in the middle of a sentence. So if I'm talking along and suddenly I'm talking about something different, my mind got moved aside, and we'll get back to the subject at some point, usually, sometimes. I'm very good at rambling. I can talk about nothing for an hour and never stop, other than to breathe. Or unless I space out and just stare at nothing for a while. Dyslexia is, in my case, it's not horrible. My eldest sister taught me to read when I was 3. And I always read above grade level. So it's not that I can't read. It's just I have enough dyslexia to move letters around, reverse letters, insert words into sentences. It makes reading interesting, especially when I'm trying to read a lot or especially when I'm tired. I use a text-to-speech reader to read anything I can. It makes it much easier. It becomes more like the books you read as a kid where you listen to the tape as you follow along. And yes, I'm looking at the imaginary book. Right now, I haven't been working for a few years. I have a neck injury that's causing pain, spasms, all sorts of normal nerve stuff in my upper torso, arms, hands, and I have a lower back injury that's doing the same to my lower body, legs, feet. I suppose you guys know enough about anatomy to know that the legs and the feet are the lower body. I can't talk about the injuries too much, that's work related. The only reason I bring up the injuries is because I am also starting to have other symptoms, symptoms that would not normally be associated with a neck injury or a back injury. Feeling exhausted, brain fog, a few other things. I'll get into those in other videos. Another issue I deal with is migraines. And over the last few years, I've been having more migraines that are more intense. And it's been really difficult to deal with. Luckily, my doctor recently prescribed something else to help prevent the migraines. And so far it's working. Knock on wood. The migraines are more of an issue simply because I went to the eye doctor in August and he called me back for more tests. And in September, I found out that I have normal tension glaucoma. And to be honest, that scares the hell out of me. Do I think I'm going to go blind? Probably not. There's always that chance, but I don't think so. But I'm still scared. I have my follow-up for my glaucoma in March, so I have a couple of months of insanity waiting for me. My eye doctor told me to call him if I noticed any changes in my vision. Well, I have ADHD and a vivid imagination, so I notice things all the time, and my imagination can turn them into whatever, all sorts of things. It depends on where my brain is that day. If I seem to ramble more about my eyesight than anything else, it's because I am afraid of going blind. I am very afraid of going blind. I have been since as far as I can remember. The reason I went to the optometrist is because I needed new glasses. The old ones were designed for driving. The old ones had a very big visual field for distance and not very much for computer work or reading. And I started to get frustrated. I was having a lot of blinding migraines. I was having just a lot of problems. I couldn't read things. The new glasses have a much bigger field for looking at the computer, for reading books, much bigger magnified field down at the bottom edge. And again, I look down because it's down here. And when I put them on, I couldn't believe the difference because I could read the computer again. One of the first things I noticed with the new glasses was a shadow or a blind spot. And it's just below my central vision. And I think if I point to it long enough, you'll be able to see it. Okay, no, you can't see it. And no, I don't know why I'm pointing. So I might edit that out. So I noticed the blind spot, and suddenly that becomes like a little focal point for me, because even though it's not directly in front of me, I still notice it. It depends on the background. And it drives me crazy, because in my brain, I'm thinking, is that getting bigger? Is it blocking more? Wait. And I just don't know. I am a writer. I have written a lot of short stories that have actually been published in books through writing contests. I am working on a couple of longer stories that I hope maybe I'll finish one, and hopefully maybe one of them is going to get published. I don't know. If it does, trust me, you'll hear about it here. That will be a special edition if I have a book get published. And right now I actually have 3 that are 2/3 of the way done. One of my books has a blind character, and about a year and a half ago, maybe a little more, I made her more of a main character. Since she's going to have a lot of time in the book, I wanted to have some facts. I wanted to understand diseases that cause blindness. blindness in young people, blindness in younger people. You know, the most common ones are retinitis pigmentosa and glaucoma. And I did a lot of research into both. The character has RP, but I did do a lot of research about both diseases. I did all this research, and I read a lot about glaucoma, and I read things like, it sneaks up on you, you don't notice it, these are the symptoms, watch out for these things. And I didn't catch it. I didn't notice it. I think maybe somewhere in my brain I was making a connection and not wanting to notice it. That might have been the problem, because there would be no other reason for me to continue reading about it once I made my mind up about my character. And I did. So I think somewhere in my brain I knew something was wrong, but I just didn't want to accept it. I want this to be a channel where you're going to see me losing weight, and whether through rehab or surgery, I recover from my neck and my back injuries. And if there's anything else going on, that it gets figured out and I start coping with that. Or hopefully I get to come on here and say, oh my gosh, I'm such a hypochondriac because there is nothing else wrong with me. And then I'd be insanely happy. And then that would just leave the glaucoma. And like I said, that scares me. I want this to be a place where you come here and say, let's see how good she's doing this week or this month. I want to talk about things as they happen. You know, tests that the doctor may run, whatever. I want to get this information. I want to talk about it while it's fresh in my mind. It's as much because I don't want to spend a copay once a week on a therapist. So you guys are my therapist. Congratulations. I've never done videos like this. I've never talked to people about myself this way ever, not even person to person. So if I seem a little nervous, it's because I am. And also, this is very, very new to me, doing the videos, doing the editing. So please be patient. I'm trying to learn. I've done some practicing as far as the editing, but my editing is still a little rough. Please keep tuning in. I promise at least the editing will get better. Maybe my train of thought won't, but the editing will get better. If it turns out that I have something other than the neck and back injuries, something else that's affecting my body, then the videos are going to become about me coping with that and living the best life I can. If it turns out my glaucoma is affecting my eyes quickly, even if it turns out that I'm going to go blind, I'm going to continue the videos, and the videos will become about me coping with that, learning how to keep living my life to the best of my abilities. That's what I want these videos to be. I want this to be a positive place, but since we don't know the future, I can't promise all the videos will be positive. I might be a complete mental mess during some of them. Whatever happens, I'm going to try to be as positive as possible. That's all I can say. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you know when I put up another video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I will answer anything I can. Other than that, I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Do not look for fitness or beauty videos from me or cooking videos, although I do know how to cook. I'm pretty good at cooking. My son's better at cooking. Learning how to live as a blind person. Over the last few years, I have had more grimanes. Brain is... Okay. Try again. My mother were more... I don't know why I pointed. So I love the rain. I just don't want to go do a video in the rain. Well, no, I'll take that back. I love doing videos in the rain. I just didn't want to do this video in the rain. Oh dear God. Yeah, keep watching and you'll get a lot more of that. Okay, I've been babbling for a very long time. I don't even know how long I've been talking.